can't be everything to everyone, or can we? The station that leaves no listener behind, AM 1050 KCAA.
Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company has been serving the greater Inland Empire for over 60 years. For all of your printing needs, from full-color printing to high-speed copying and everything in between, go to Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company. Their staff is committed to your total satisfaction. Great service isn't just lip service at Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company. It's the way they do business year after year. Having trouble finding drafting supplies? Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company still carries a complete selection. Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company is rated high in customer satisfaction by Value Star, an independent rating company. For all of your personal or business printing, call Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company at 909-792-3478. That's 792-3478, or visit them on New York Street in Redlands off the I-10 and the Crosstown Freeway.
Are you a stay-at-home mom? Are you looking for ways to earn extra income? Well, if you're passionate about health and nutrition and want to earn an extra income, then you want to give us a call. Toll free at 1-855-909-3047. That's 1-855-909-3047. Learn how some stay-at-home moms are making an income with very little effort. If you're passionate about health and nutrition and want to earn extra income and you're a stay-at-home mom, call 1-855-909-3047. That's 1-855-909-3047.
All aboard the Inland Empire Express, 1050 AM, leaving no listeners behind. KCAA.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's a child of God, a husband, NRA conservative, radical right-wing supervillain, and Twitter rock star. American by birth, Texan by choice, and a badass by nature. He's the owner of TomO'Halloran.com, O'HalloranMedia.com, and PatriotRadio.net. Please welcome Tom O'Halloran.
There ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
And welcome back. This is Jihad on America. I am your host, Tom O'Halloran, broadcasting tonight from my underground bunker deep in Arkansas, Nebraska. I'm here to educate, irritate, and agitate. And folks, if you're not agitated by the time we're done, send me your number. We're going to have to send you a new set of speakers because you're just not hearing me. If you'd like to join the conversation tonight, please call 888-909-1050. If you'd like to listen on your phone, it's 832-999-1050. You can also go to PatriotRadioshow.com and watch the live stream video or the audio if you don't have video. You can also join the chat room and be part of the show from there. Again, my name's Tom O'Halloran. On Twitter, I am TPO_hisself. My primary blog is TomO'Halloran.com. When you get there, please be sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Spreaker, any other social media that you like. Also, while there, please follow Veronica Coffin. She's the editor of my 15 web pages these days and does all the heavy lifting. Without her doing that, I wouldn't be able to do this. You'll find her follow button at the bottom of every post. And Veronica, know that I appreciate you more than I can say in just an hour show. Please also visit the Facebook page, facebook.com/Patriot Radio Show. I'm on air 3 nights a week, so be sure to catch the Patriot Radio Show on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, same time at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. On Fridays, I do this show. It's Jihad on America, where I take on the Islamists in America and around the world. I do the news about Islam around the world because it's a look into the future here in America if we allow the cancer of Islam to spread here in the homeland. Each week, we roll back the curtain and show you what's going on in the Islamists, who they are, what they want, and why you should be afraid. If you did not catch my show on the Muslim Brotherhood, if you did not catch my show, Islam is not a religion, please do yourself a favor, do me a favor, and do America a favor. Go to patriotradioshow.com, catch these two shows. They'll open your eyes. You'll never hear a conversation on Islam, Sharia, Muslims again, thinking the same way you do now. Keep abreast of all my shows. Listen to the live stream of or archive shows, all on patriotradioshow.com. Let's kick the show off. First, coming out of the UK, an 82-year-old great-grandmother was beheaded in her backyard by a Muslim convert. It's unknown what set him off on the woman, but the beheading, the fact that he's a Muslim convert, all ring far too familiar. 24-year-old tattoo artist named of Palmira Silva fancied himself a cage fighter. He hacks the head off an 82-year-old woman. Oh, you're a tough guy. These scumbags, I tell you what, no matter what country they're in, no matter what country they come from, they're all the same. They're savages. And ISIS, once again, very, very well funded. They've been capturing oil fields, dams, electric power plants, virtually everything you need to create wealth. They've got their eye on the Kirkuk oil fields right now. With the oil fields they've already captured, they're making between $1 and $3 million a day. If they manage to capture the Kirkuk oil field, they will be pulling in upwards of $100 million every day. They steal the oil, they ship it through underground, not actually under earth, but in tanker trucks and such, into Turkey and Libya, some other places, and sell the oil by the boatload. $100 million can buy you a boatload of jihad as well. Photos surface. We talked last week about the 11 jetliners missing in Tripoli, Libya. Libyan terrorists, some of the nastiest. And there's 11 jetliners all of a sudden, quote, missing. How do you turn up missing airplanes? There have to be records. They have to have been flown from point A to point B. Well, photographs have surfaced with members of Libyan Dawn standing on top of some of the aircraft. It's unknown at this time whether they have them all or not. Libyan Dawn is not the only terrorist group operating out of Libya, so there could be others involved. They may not even be the major player on it. France is suffering from the jihadis as well. France has got over 900 terrorists, all Muslims, 99% of them. There may be a few stragglers in there, but over 900 of them have gone into the Joe, I've got my show playing back at me. Joe, I've got my show playing in my monitor. France is suffering from the jihadis as well. France has got over 900. Really? Terrorists. All Muslims. Okay, pardon that, folks. A little technical issue here. France is also battling its own jihad issues with over 900 French citizens going into Iraq and Syria and joining in the jihad. The problem isn't with them going as much because hopefully they'll get shot up and killed. The problem is, what if they survive? What if they survived? Then these terrorists, these trained murdering scumbags, return to the countries they come from, in this case, France, well trained to fight the enemy. The enemy now is France. On Wednesday, an alleged jihadi was caught in Turkey with his 2-year-old daughter traveling to Iraq to participate in the war with a 2-year-old daughter. Also, a 16-year-old girl was trying to join the Islamist rebels in Syria. She was arrested in Nice, along with her alleged recruiter, a 22-year-old Chechen man. These people are being recruited from Western countries all over the globe, from Australia to the U.S., England, Germany, even from some of the less developed countries such as Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines. With the money they have, with the technology they have, they know the internet. They know how to do YouTube videos and make murdering people and decapitating civilians seem glamorous. And there's no shortage of people wanting to go and cut heads off people. May God help us. Folks, please stay with us. We've got a lot more coming up in this hour. We'll be right back.
KCAA Radio, AM 1050. Hey, tell a friend. AM 1050.
Tom O'Halloran.
We'll put a boot in your ass. It's the American way. All brought to you courtesy of the red, white, and blue. Of my red, white, and blue.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is Jihad on America. I am your host, Tom O'Halloran. Coming up next, we've got Malaysian rebels, Malaysian police have arrested lesbians in a hotel room. Malaysia is very strong in the Sharia. And this is the first lesbian couple to have been arrested since Sharia was enacted a couple of years ago. If convicted, they face 3 months in jail, 6 cane strokes, and a fine. Cane strokes are brutal, but at least in this instance, the homosexuality isn't going to bring them a beheading. I'll take the cane over the beheading on most days. In Germany, a Salafist Muslim group forms a Sharia police. These Muslims are now putting on orange vests that say Sharia police on them, and they are patrolling the streets. If you're walking in public and you're holding hands with your boyfriend, and in this case it doesn't matter whether you're a boy or a girl, if you're holding hands in public, you're in trouble. They state quite publicly in videos that are posted online, we are here to enforce Sharia. German law does not matter in this territory. So like they do in Oslo, like they've done in France, like they've done in Dearborn, Michigan, they mark off territory. And they've done it in England as well. And this is Sharia compliant land. The law of the land does not exist. Police aren't allowed to enter. And some of these countries allow them to say that, and the police steer clear. They're actually ceding portions of their country over to these Islamist heathens, these cavemen, the savages, those that will cut off a hand if they suspect you of stealing. Al-Qaeda rebels have captured 45 Fiji peacekeepers, part of a UN forces. And they've been captured on the Syrian side of Golan Heights, and they are going to be tried under Sharia. It's unknown at this time what charges they're going to be facing, but being an infidel would probably be at the top of the list, along with the execution that comes therewith. There were also 72 Filipino troops that were surrounded by rebel forces. However, some of those soldiers escaped over the weekend and managed to get off into Israel where they were safe. But these 45 Fiji soldiers that came to help maintain the peace, and as I recall, peacekeeping forces are not armed, so they were left to basically be victims, unless that's changed in recent years. So if you have any prayers left in your heart, please say them for these Fiji soldiers just doing their duty. Now here's one out of the what's the sickest thing you could think of folder. This is mind-numbing. If you are still thinking that Islam is just a peaceful religion, they're not bad people. They're just misunderstood. How about a 28-year-old woman whose husband of 2 years, whose husband of unknown number of years, has been working overseas for 2 years. He's out of the country for 2 years. She's raped at gunpoint by her father-in-law. Raped at gunpoint repeatedly by her father-in-law. She's impregnated at gunpoint by her father-in-law. Friends of hers urge her to go to the authorities, to turn him in, to press charges. So she does. Only one problem. If you're a regular listener of the show, then you know. She's a woman. Women have no rights. A dog has more rights. A dog is higher in the food chain. A goat is more important than a woman to Islam. The woman wanted to have an abortion. The Islamist council told her no. Your baby is now the brother of your husband. They are brothers. You will treat your husband as your son, and you will continue to be a wife to your father-in-law, who is now your husband. So not only does justice mean you get raped and have to suffer through it, but it also means you lose your husband, and you have to love a baby that came from rape, and you have to continue submitting your body to the man that has raped you all along. These people are savages. Don't ever let anybody tell you that Islam is not full of savages. And it's not a few misguided people. It's not a few misguided people. Everybody in Islam is told to follow Muhammad. Do as Muhammad did. Muhammad married a 6-year-old. Muhammad tells them they can beat their wives. Muhammad says it's okay to have sex with a goat. Just don't sell the goat in your own village when you're finished. These are savages, and the world needs to wake up. We need to wake up here in America. Here in America, they're still being allowed in. They're still getting elected. People in the communities are electing these people to city councils, to Senate. We've got 3 of them in the Senate right now. Are there no God-fearing Americans in Minnesota that you've got to elect a second senator that can't place their hand on the Bible without burning? This is America. If you don't like America, go home. We will not adapt to your ways. And people are waking up. Hopefully this Senate race in Minnesota will be turned over to Republicans. We can only pray at this point. Boko Haram, Nigeria. These are the vile scumbags that have kidnapped 200 and 300 school kids, raped them, cut their heads off when they're done having sex with these kids, sold some of them into slavery. I talked a couple of weeks ago about one little girl that was gang raped, and they were getting ready to behead her, and she pleaded for patience. Let me rest, and we'll do it again. You can have me again. Pleading to submit to being raped rather than to be beheaded. She was 12 years old. They waited. Then they gang raped her. And then they killed her. Now they're battling for land in the northeast of Nigeria, and 26,000 people have been displaced. 26,000 people, again, wandering around the land. There's over 700,000 people in Nigeria now that have been displaced by these murdering, child-raping Muslims. It's horrible, my friends, and it's happening in virtually every country that allows them in. There are a few that have refused them. They will be the last countries that aren't having people beheaded. Please stay with us. We've got an awful lot more coming up in the next half hour. And know, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. I know there's a lot of options on what to do on a Friday night, radio and otherwise, and I appreciate it every time you show up. We'll be right back.
Missed something today, yesterday, last week? Check out our podcasts at www.kcaaradio.com. AM 1050 KCAA. We leave no listener behind.
Tom O'Halloran, holding the line against tyranny from Washington, D.C.
I am America. One voice, united we stand. I am America. One hope to heal our land. There is still work that must be done. I will not rest until we've won. I am America.
Welcome back. Welcome back. This is Jihad on America. I am your host, Tom O'Halloran. If you haven't been with us for the full show, please know we have 3 shows a week. On Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I do Patriot Radio with Tom O'Halloran. And on Fridays, I do this show, Jihad on America. John Kerry was on TV this week. He gave his speech, and the Secretary of State actually stood there and said this, and I'm going to actually read this statement because it's so unbelievable. It shows you how clueless President Obama and his team are. It's absolutely frightening. He says, Islam is a peaceful religion based on the dignity of all human beings, and that ISIS is not the real face of Islam. I want to take advantage of this podium and of this moment to underscore as powerfully as I know how that the face of Islam is not the butchers who killed Stephen Satloff. That's ISIL. The face of Islam is not the nihilists who know only how to destroy, not to build. It's not the masked cowards whose actions are an ugly insult to the peaceful religion they violate every single day with their barbarity, and whose fundamental principles they insult with their actions. The real face of Islam is a peaceful religion based on the dignity of all human beings. It's one where Muslim communities are leading the fight against poverty, in one where the Muslim communities are providing basic health care and emergency assistance on the front lines. Give me a break. Kerry has his head so far up his butt, he has no clue. We're not talking about extremists. We're talking about Iran, the state. They will cut your heads off if you are a homosexual. That's not a extreme side of Islam. That is Islam. If you're a homosexual, they will hang you. If you steal something, they will cut off your hands. If you're a woman and you walk out in the street showing your ankles, they will stone you. If a man asks to marry you and you turn him down, they will throw acid in your face. If you're a woman in Egypt or in Africa, there's a 95% chance you've had a vaginal mutilation operation where they cut you and they sew it back together in a way that it is unusable for anything other than discharging fluid. 95% of women in Egypt and Africa have suffered this, sometimes as young as infants. These people are evil, and John Kerry is clueless. And it drives me nuts to see the leaders of this country not being aware of what's happening. We are once again having a little bit of a technical issue. Bear with me. There we go. Okay. Just to show you how clueless and weak and limp this whole administration is, we are, for the first time in American history, irrelevant. Irrelevant. Egypt and the United Arab Republic, United Arab UAE, United Arab Emirates, they actually colluded and started attacking ISIS in Syria and in Iraq this last week. For the first time in American history, for even a single country to attack another, let alone for two countries to get together and do an attack in another territory. It has never happened without the consent of America. Every president has been asked, we've got this problem. We want to do this to take care of it. Do we have your blessing? America is so disrespected with Obama in office, and so in bed with the very people that the UAE and Egypt wanted to bomb, that Obama never knew it was coming. They did not trust America because Obama is in bed with ISIS. He has been sending them money. He has been sending them weapons. And had Egypt come to Obama and says, we want to strike these areas, Obama would probably have warned ISIS. There's little doubt that he has a back channel, if not a very front channel, right in to the Muslim Brotherhood, which has his tentacles into every terrorist organization over there. So these two countries got together, Egyptian planes flying out of, I think they used a Turkish air base, and they went and did the strikes. And Obama heard about it on the news. Well, he's always saying, I didn't know about it until I saw it on the news. This time he's right, because he was uninformed. He was untrusted. America, for the first time in our history, in 200 and something years, we are on the side of evil. Now, I mentioned this the other night on the Patriot Radio Show, but this is a very heavy thing to say. We have often picked the wrong side. We overthrow a government and install a new leader who turns out to be a dictator, a bad guy, sometimes as bad or worse than the people we've removed. We've made bad calls, but we've never picked evil over good. But Obama has repeatedly, he ousted Egyptian President Mubarak, who, although a dictator, he kept the peace between Syria and Israel. He kept the Muslim Brotherhood at bay. And he kept peace in his country, and Egypt prospered. Obama overthrew the Libyan president. He's trying to overthrow Assad. And in their place, he's installing the Muslim Brotherhood, ISIS, whoever he can, any terrorist organization he can put into power, he's doing it. So why would these countries trust this man? For the first time, America is on the side of evil. And it breaks my heart to know that our sons and our brothers, our husbands, our wives and daughters are over there engaging in a war where Christians are being killed by the people we are supporting. And I'd love nothing better to open the newspaper tomorrow morning and read that the Joint Chiefs of Staff have decided to suspend all war activities and come home and stand up to the government. America is not about siding with people that want to kill Christians. Obama is. Obama loves killing Christians. Any organization that wants to kill Christians, Obama will send them $1 billion. Whatever weapons you need. He stands by while churches are being killed, while Christians are being slaughtered by the tens of thousands. And yet one Palestinian boy gets shot or hit with an Israeli missile, and Obama finds a TV camera and says how disgusted he is by the act of violence. Obama has brought us to the dark side. America is now, we are not evil. We are not evil. As a people, our heart has always and is always in the right place. But we have a Congress that won't stand up to this guy. How can they not stand up to somebody who stands by and allows Christians to be slaughtered by the tens of thousands? And he does nothing but send money to the people that are killing the Christians. Now, we're not evil, but we're in bed with evil. We are fighting on the side of evil. We're carrying evil's water. And it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart when day after day I go from blog to blog reading the news, reading the stories of what's going on all around the world. John Kerry says Islam is a religion of peace. There have been 3,500 acts of terror in the name of Islam in the last 12 months. How can that be a religion of peace? How can anybody even look anybody in the eye and utter the words, Islam is a religion of peace? My grandkids are 12 years old. They know Islam is evil. Granted, not every Muslim is a terrorist. But every Muslim is a follower of a goat-raping pedophile named Mohammed. And with that, we'll go to the next break. We'll be right back.
Real talk for real people. Right here in the Inland Empire. We are 1050 AM KCAA.
Tom O'Halloran has a not-so-common core spelling lesson for the Obama administration. Ready? There is no K in America.
There's kids that can't pray in school, $100 tanks of gas. I can tell you right now, this country ain't supposed to be like that. No, that ain't my America. That ain't this country's roots. You wanna slam, hold on to Sam, but I ain't letting you. Yeah, I'm mad as hell, and you know I still bleed red, white, and blue.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Well, folks, I told you we were here to agitate, and I hope you're pretty agitated of what we covered so far, but it's not over. This week, Barack Hussein Obama, appointed another Muslim to his administration. Yep. On August 28th, he appointed Muslim Fatima Noor as special assistant in the office of the Director for U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services and the Department of Homeland Security. Gee, I wonder what kind of people this person will try to get into the country. You don't think Muslims will get head of the line privileges, do you? Maybe fly in without a passport, stay as long as you like. No searching them when they come through the gate because they're Muslims. That would be racist. This is absolutely insane. This man is planting Muslims in every corner of his administration. And it just doesn't stop. It just doesn't stop. What do we got here? Two Islamic terror plots stopped in Sweden were catastrophic. Two 9/11 type attacks. Two separate attacks planned by violent Islamist extremists living inside the country. Few details have been released, but the authorities have said it is extreme terrorism attacks. Sweden, Norway. Norway, I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, Norway is being threatened. If you don't give us part of Oslo, the capital city, you will face a 9/11 attack. Now that's kind of bordering on blackmail, isn't it? If you don't give us part of your city to be an Islamist territory, we will kill you? Why aren't these people rounded up, put on a ship, and sent home? And why isn't that ship blown up halfway across the ocean? They are demanding that Oslo give up territory, half of the capital of the nation, to turn it into an Islamist state where only Sharia will rule. Now, other places this has been tried, and some it's been pretty much done, but it's never been actually threatened. If you don't, we will kill thousands of you. God help them if they submit and give this territory up. Export each and every one of them. If they even look Muslim, send them home, because it only gets worse and worse and worse with every story we read. Okay, up next. Reports are out now that Obama and John Brennan are suppressing key evidence acquired in the bin Laden raid. It's unknown just yet what has been withheld from us, but an intelligence leak says it is a treasure trove of information that is not being shared. It's being held in a very tight hand, which probably means the Obama administration. Heaven knows we don't want the CIA getting hold of it. They might actually kill some Muslims. Not very likely, though, because, come to think of it, John Brennan is a Muslim. I hope you knew that. CIA Director John Brennan actually converted to Islam when he was serving in Saudi Arabia about 10 years ago. So we have an actual Muslim at the head of the Central Intelligence Agency. This is a bad, bad, bad situation. And why has nobody done anything to stop it? I mean, in World War II, would we have allowed a president to appoint Nazis to be the head of our intelligence, the head of the SS? And yet here we are, allowing this guy to appoint Muslims at the top, at the very, very top of our intelligence organizations. Any attacks we make, he knows about and can easily get word out so that the targets can disperse. It's a scary situation. Last week we had an oil tanker off the coast of Houston, and Muslims were training on this, how to board an oil tanker, how to take over an oil tanker. This is not good, and it's happening right off our coast. Right off our coast. I believe they were Somalis. I can't verify that right now. I don't have that file up. But an oil tanker right off the coast of Houston, Texas, and they're training how to take over and steal an oil tanker. Come real handy when you got an oil field that you've hijacked. Why not steal a ship to get the oil where you can sell it? And how is this not something that our intelligence can not stop? It's insane. Not a whole lot more insane, though, than the fact that ISIS is here in America. It has become known by the border control people that down in McAllen, Texas, there have been found people that are members of ISIS. They've come through Mexico, they stop off, they spend a few months in Mexico learning a little bit of the language. Their brown skin, they can fit right in. Most Hispanics coming up don't talk a lot when they get picked up anyway. So they utter a few phrases and just thought to be the strong, silent types. And they're allowed in because we don't stop people from coming in anymore. You want in, you're in. They settle in Hispanic communities. These very people that have vowed to destroy America. Today is the 5th of September. 6 days from now will be the anniversary, the 13th anniversary of 9/11. With all the people that have flooded into this country, with wide open borders. Obama has brought the Border Patrol 70 miles inland, giving the terrorist wide berth. We don't know. We have no idea what weapons they may have brought in. Dirty bombs, chemical warfare. But if you're not thinking about what might happen before we speak here next Friday, you should be. If you're awake, sleep should come hard, because this is the 13th anniversary, and Obama has opened the borders and told the Border Patrol to stand down. I've never been one for fear-mongering. I'm just sharing my fear. The border's been open. Obama doesn't have a strategy. A year ago, he was asked when he said Al-Qaeda is dead. Sure, there are a few ragtag terrorist groups out there, but we don't really have a strategy. We're formulating a strategy. A year ago, he said, I'm formulating a strategy. And this last week, he says, I don't have a strategy on these Islamists. He doesn't have a strategy because it's working fine. They're killing Christians. They're coming into our country. We don't need a strategy. I'm with them. I'm on their side. A strategy? You mean you want me to stop these people? You want me to actually defend America? Yeah, as if. As if defending America has ever been on his agenda. Not number one. Has it ever been on the agenda? Not in the slightest. Not in the slightest. Our military is the weakest it has been since World War I. He's still slashing. And not just in equipment, he's slashing in top leadership. Anybody that doesn't agree with him, anybody that doesn't want gays in the military, anybody that doesn't agree to turn the weapons on the American people. I promise you that was asked. If you would not follow his instructions and turn your weapons on American citizens, you were forced to resign. My friends, it's a scary, scary day. But if we survive, or those of us do survive this next week, we need to engage, get involved, wake up, start calling people, start calling your senators, tell them to stop these Islamists. Make them stop before Islamists make you convert. Good night, America. God bless you and yours. This is Tom O'Halloran. I'm out.